Alright. Greetings and peace. My name is Neo and I'm here for the people. Greetings, Earthlings. Alright, I'm back. Feeling good. It is extremely early in the morning. It is about, well, doesn't matter. Stop looking at time because time doesn't exist. But it's early in the morning and it feels great. I feel great. First, I remember coming out of my body. But when I came out of the body, I don't remember anything else besides coming out of the body. And I saw my brain when I came out. And I remember my brain when I came out. And then I came back. I remember my brain. And I felt like a vibration coming out. Coming out of it. Because most people who have out-of-body experiences, they feel that vibration. And then coming in, it was like a squirm coming into my body. And I remember it coming right at the top. I remember laying down and coming right at the top, right here, top of my head. That was weird, but I wasn't scared at all. Coming back in and out. That was the first experience that I had while sleeping. The second experience is experiencing my parallel life. Yes, for all of the lower thinking humans, we are living lives right now along this life, all at the same time. That's how powerful the soul is, and that's why it's important to learn to tap into your soul, your higher self, learn to communicate with it and get that kind of power, access it, just like Bobby Hemmett says. Tap into it and get that kind of power. I love that free your mind video. I love it, and I have it on my phone. I have the MP3 on my phone. I converted it to an MP3, and I listen to it a lot about freeing your mind and deprogramming your mind to access the soul's power. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been giving me all this information. I got some crazy information that I'm going to tell you guys that most have never heard, probably nobody ever heard, but I'm going to that another time. So I had this lucid dream, and I experienced my parallel life. My parallel life was here in this restaurant, but it was a different restaurant. It was formed different. I got my notes right here. I woke up, and this past few days after getting all of this sun and eating right, doing all this stuff, I remember my dreams. And this dream right here, I remember it vividly. Vividly. So I wrote it down just in case I forget. So I was like, let me write this down. And that's probably why the Kemites did it. They knew that they was going to forget all this information, so they wrote it on the walls. And now we, the gods, are remembering. We're reading all of this stuff and we're remembering, get that sunlight, eat right, eat less, and don't be like the humans who eat so much garbage every single day. And that's why they get sick. They go to the doctors and they get cancer. And me eating less, last time I've been to doctors was probably like 7-8 years ago, because I know that having a doctor is not necessary, and going to the hospital means death. They're not here to help us unless it's a holistic doctor who works with like herbs and all that stuff and understands spirituality. Then okay, but them other doctors, they program to do all this other stuff that goes against nature. And you don't want to go against nature, you want to go with nature. But anyways, it was in my parallel life, in the dream, which that's the real world anyways, but it's still just part of it's one of my realities. This restaurant that I'm in now, it was the same restaurant, but it was different. It was like a small, slightly different environment. Like, I remember it was a big stove right here. Instead of the stove being over here, it was a stove right here. And then in the other restaurant, in my parallel life, the lights was on. I had electricity in the last one, the parallel life. And it was weird because this restaurant here, there's no electricity, and I'm not worried about it because I know how the law of attraction works, and also me not having electricity here when I'm here, it's a good thing because I'm allowed to focus on myself spiritually, and I'm not off playing video games and watching TV and all that crap. So it's like now what I do, spend most of my days reading. If I'm not in nature and getting that sun, I get at least 2 hours of sunlight, and it is, my energy is like, all of this energy. But anyway, if I'm not doing that, I'm reading or watching some YouTube videos that I have on a tablet that I download on the tablet. But another thing that was weird is I had the same key that I have in this reality. In the next reality, it was the same key too, and it opened up the same door. The door, I don't remember the door, what the door looks like in the other reality, but it still opened up that. So then somehow I switched to going to a new house, a different house, and it had 2 doors, and I went in the door to the left, and I had the same key that opens up this door, but it was a house. So I'm like, okay, it's the same key, and I'm conscious too. I'm conscious in the reality. I'm looking at the key. Let me see if I have it over here. But anyways, no, it's too far. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I'll go up to the door, open it, and I'm going in there, and I'm like, wow, okay. And for some reason, I know that that's my mother's house. I don't know how, but I knew that that was my mother's house. And that was me living a parallel life. So, okay, I'm going through experiencing it. And then there's a table in this this room right here. It's like a living room, because you know some houses, the old houses, they have 2 living rooms. So it was one living room, and there was a table there. And then there was a portrait of 3 people. I remember 3. And there was melanated people. So I'm looking at them like, are those my parents? And then I'm like, oh, alright. And then I just keep walking. And then as I walk around the corner, I hear something. And me having a dog, been having a lot of dogs in my life, 3 dogs. I know a dog when I hear a dog, because I hear the 4 legs walking. Doom, doom, doom. The 4 legs walking, and I knew there was a dog coming around the corner. And for some reason, I automatically and instinctively, I said, sit. Without even seeing the dog, I said, sit. I come around the corner, it's a puppy. It's a puppy. And then the puppy just sits there, and there's like a scarf the puppy was playing with, and it sat down and just moving. But guess what? When I approached the puppy, it was a green puppy. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I just knew I knew everything about it, and I was just petting it. And then as I'm petting it, and it's like, it like flips over somehow on the back of it, like towards the end, towards the butt part, the back top, towards the back part, there's like this seal that makes it look like it's a teddy bear of some sort. A seal where there's a crease and there's like stitches around the side of the crease and the other side, like round stitches. So it looked like it was fake, and it was a green puppy. And I'm looking at him like, that's weird. So I just get up and I go into the kitchen, and the kitchen reminds me of my kitchen in the house that I used to live in with my mother. The old house when I was younger. And I don't know why I keep having these dreams, and I gotta ask my spirit why I keep having these dreams about that old house when I was younger. Same dream back at Madison Street. So I had my mother, the same mother that looked the same, and she had the same personality, the same desire to throw that religious crap down my throat, her Jehovah's Witness crap. So she didn't change, and I was talking to her. I forgot what I was yelling at her about communicating better, something like that. Because her communication is just, oh man, just terrible, garbage. So I've been trying to teach her for a long time to slow down, speak clearly, think before you speak, as I'm doing my best now, so that I can relax and get my words out carefully, so you guys can hear me. And something else I was teaching her about. In that reality, I was teaching the same thing that I've been teaching her in this reality. And it's like she didn't change at all. At all. So that's that part. Let me see what else I remember here. Oh yeah, and before I came to her house, I remember I had a soda in my hand, a big 1 liter soda in my hand, and it was like Pepsi or Cola, and I was drinking it. After I drank it, I said to myself, why the heck did I buy a soda? I don't buy sodas at all. So apparently, maybe in that reality, I buy sodas, but I consciously said, like, why the heck did I buy a soda? And I was like, that was weird. I don't remember buying a soda. And in the other reality, when I had electricity in this restaurant, I remember plugging my phone in. And before I went to bed, in this reality right here, this reality that you see me in, before I went to bed, my battery ran out. Like literally it drained out, so I just put it to the side. So in the other reality, I remember plugging it in because I remembered that the battery went out. I plugged it in, and it is funny, when I woke up, I went to my phone and see if it was that's how real it felt. I went to see if my phone was charged. Nope, it wasn't charged. And then that's when I realized, like, oh man, I was in a different reality. And it felt so real, I thought it was this reality, which this reality is not real either. But anyways, what else? So that was that. So then I think when I was at the store, I was at the store first before I went to my mother's house, and I should have wrote that down in reverse. I should have reversed it, but I had the mother house first and then the store. But this is my store experience. Look, I was buying a sandwich at a store, and I was in a deli area. Maybe it was a sandwich shop or just deli area. But anyways, I was facing this way, and I was like, okay, I'm ordering my sandwich, and then there was this lady right here, and she was aware of me, and she was fixing my sandwich. But this lady was taking so long to fix my sandwich. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this lady taking so long to get my sandwich done? It's been like past 5 minutes. And then while I'm standing right there, the lady picks up another order and starts working on another female sandwich. I'm like, oh man, you serious? So I just looked to the next over here. I'm like, who else can help me? And then while waiting, this other lady was cooking making my sandwich. It was another lady on the right of me, and this is really weird, this part. In the new reality, my other reality, my third eye was extremely active, like extremely. My intuition was blazing. I knew everything that was going on, and I could see everything beyond the physical illusion. So there was this beautiful lady next to me. She had black curly hair. Oh man, when I first looked at her, and her face was beautiful, and I'm just sitting there looking at her and talking to her, but she didn't really communicate with me that much. And she smiled at me, and she was like, and I'm talking to her briefly, but then as I look at her and I gaze into her eyes, and her face started to change. She had like this black stuff over here, and when I woke up, I realized that she was a shapeshifter, and there are shapeshifters here on this planet right now. And in this reality, I was able to see the real her, and the black part of her was coming out. It was like completely black over here, and it was coming in and out. And I was like, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, in my head I was saying, this woman is not normal. She was shifting, and then the reason why she wasn't talking to me, because she knew that I was one of the awake ones. And she was saying to herself, oh, he's one of the awake ones, so I can't talk to him. And she was kind of nervous too, because she knew that I knew what was going on. I was awake, and I could see beyond these illusions. And when I woke up, during that time, when I woke up, I realized that there's shifters on here, shapeshifters on here, and they, in this reality right here, on this planet, there's shapeshifters, and they know that the majority of people on this planet, they don't have their third eye open. So these two fake eyes can be deceived extremely easy, and they can walk around here making you think that they're beautiful and normal humans, But if you don't have your intuition developed and your third eye open, you can't tell the difference. You think that these are humans, but they're shapeshifters deceiving people. And that's the reason why now in this reality, I'm able to just sit here and look at people. And this is where I train my intuition, looking out this window and just learning, observing humans and learning body language. I taught all of this stuff by myself. Body language, and I can tell if something is normal, if somebody's normal, or if something's going on with somebody. Because I remember this one guy that walks up and down the street every so often. He's not normal. I don't think that one has a soul, because he is not animated at all, and he just walks straight like a robot. He don't look to the right, to the left. He doesn't scratch his head. He just be like this. And then every time I walk past him, I look at him, and then I try to see if he's gonna look at me. Nope. That one is a soulless one. I think that one is a soulless one. I knew something was wrong with him, and it looks like I'm the only one that recognizes that, because I'm the only one that on this side of town, it seems like, that sits to allow information to come through and me to notice stuff. People just go on with their lives, go to their 9-to-5 jobs, get it emerged into TV and all this other crap that distracts them from what's going on. But me, I just sit and don't move, just observe stuff that's going on around me. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And speaking of being able to notice stuff, there's I don't know, I'll go into that another time. Yeah, it's not necessary. So her face was changing, and I was more intuitive, so I knew what was going on. I was way more intuitive than I am in this reality. I was more intuitive in the next one. That was crazy. Let's see here. And while I was in that reality, it felt so normal to me, to the point where when I woke up, I'm saying to myself, like, wow, first that was an amazing experience. And then when I realized that I remembered that dream, I was amazed that I remembered that dream clearly, number one. And number two, I said to myself, man, I want to go back to that reality, because I didn't want to come back to this reality right here. I wanted to stay into that one, because that one felt different and it felt better. And especially with my third eye, it was open even more, and I was more intuitive. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I love this. So I asked my angels, like, yo, how do I go back to that reality? I want to live it out and see what's going on. I want to experience it. So I haven't figured that out yet. And waking up from that one, after I got past all of the amazement and I recalled all of it so that I can be able to make this video, I realized that, and I already knew it, but this helped me realize it even more, that, and I wrote it down here, life is an illusion and it's only in your mind. That's how you're able to shift. All of us are able to shift the different realities that we're living in right now.